Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.
Welcome to the meat market. The single scene is a slaughterhouse, and we are here to devour it. We are your hosts. I'm Lyndsie.
I'm Jess.
And today's sizzling single is Clayton. Welcome.
How's it going, guys?
So you are 6'5". You are successful, clearly very good looking. You were the Bachelor, where you had 30 women fighting for your love, literally. Mm-hmm. I know you're ready for a wife because you said that multiple times on the show, but you're still single. Why? Why do you think this is?
Well, I don't know if this is going to kill the whole thing here, but I'm not single anymore as of like 2 days ago.
Oh, wow. 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So obviously I hope that this will be something that will carry for a while now, but it's fresh. So are we still cool to do the podcast?
Of course, absolutely.
We're already doing it, so you know what
we want to hear about your past and you know the journey it took to find love.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, too, I mean, I can speak on, singleness because it's been a journey. It is a journey. I think it's a journey that people need to take as well. And I took it purposely for many, many years. And I did say on The Bachelor that I was ready to find love. I realized, though, that I really wasn't ready because I didn't have the self-love and self-confidence I needed in order to attract the right partner. And that bled into my relationship with Susie, one of the individual that I ended up with from the show. I was traumatized from the response online and from feedback, and she became my therapist without really signing up for that. Mm-hmm. And it just made the relationship really hard to navigate because she also faced trauma as well. It was basically Team Susie versus Team Clayton at the end, and you had the audience split down the middle. So she was caring for me and there for me, and I wasn't really doing a great job of giving that back to her, and so ultimately it just fell apart. So, but it taught me that I was like, from that point after her and I broke up, I'm like, look, the next relationship you get into, like before you get there, you have to have self-love and self-confidence. You have to be fully secure in what you are. And you have to be as healed as you can be.
People underestimate the power of timing. If you're not ready, no matter if you're the perfect couple, she's the perfect person for you. If you're not ready within yourself, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And I found that out. So I spent the last few years really diving deep within my mind, going back to childhood trauma, connecting the dots, why present day me was partaking in certain behaviors, starting to see that there was things from my past that I just tried to say, hey, time will heal all wounds. That was some falsity that was stated. It's a common phrase. It's like time heals all wounds. It's not true. It's like active effort to find the silver lining, the positive amongst the negative, and rewiring your circuitry. Like that's what's going to help you heal. So I started going to multiple different types of therapy. I've done cognitive behavioral therapy. I've done EMDR therapy. I've done psilocybin trips. I've done heavy. Wow. I've done marijuana. I mean, marijuana was like my main drug that I would utilize sometimes just to numb myself because going from a town of 10,000 people and maybe being known by 10,000 people to being known by 10 million people is something that you can't prep for, especially if you're not received well. And I was controversial, so that spun me out when all of a sudden I had all these eyes and just constant feedback online, and I couldn't run from it. I mean, I suppose I could have deleted my social media, but I had a moment where I almost did, and then my ego said, "No, you're not that weak. You know, you can triumph over this. Don't delete your account. Like you're just going to basically succumb to the negativity, and you're stronger than that."
What was it like going back to your hometown for the first time?
When I went on The Bachelor?
Yeah, when you realized people hated you, basically. Like when you were this vilified, we were a villain, sort of, right? And
when I went back to my hometown on The Bachelor, the season hadn't aired yet, so everyone was excited.
Okay, so after everything came out, when people were kind of beating you up online.
Well, I had a lot of movement, so after the show, I actually sold my condo in Missouri. And so I left right after the show ended. And then I came out to Scottsdale, and I was staying with my brother until the show aired like 4 months later. And then once the show aired, then I moved with Susie to Virginia.
Okay.
So I wasn't back in my hometown. But, you know, I mean, I heard chatter. I heard comments being made from people. I also was in a very defensive state. And so I was trying to over-explain myself as to why I took the actions that I did on the show. And I thought I was explaining, and I'm like, why can't people understand? Like, I'm telling you, this is why I did it. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. These were my intentions.
I will say though, I thought you were extremely unfairly criticized, because I don't know if it's because I'm older or if it's because I'm European or I'm not religious, but when you make such a big decision like spending your life with someone, you need to explore that sexual chemistry, because that could take the underdog to top dog, or that could take your number one to the bottom three. Because I feel like sexual chemistry really can make you look at someone differently. Like, haven't you dated a guy and you're like, oh, he's okay, and then you're intimate and it's like, oh my God, this is mind-blowing, this is great. Or you really like a guy, you're intimate with him and you're like, oh my God, no, I'm over this. He gives me the ick. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're making a big decision, like proposing to someone. Don't you want to explore the intimacy with them more to make sure you're making that right decision? So I think that people that criticized you for that, I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I also believe I was unfairly criticized. I think people blew it way out of proportion.
And you were honest. I thought it was great how you were upfront, you were honest. A lot of the men on this show, they blindside the women. They don't tell them, they're not honest. But I think throughout the entire season, you were very upfront and honest.
And I still am in my personal life. And of course, that will attract a certain type of person that is okay with that. I mean, I am pretty blunt. That might be because I grew up a people pleaser, and so I felt that if I was ever caught lying or if I didn't say the right thing, that I had this 3-strike rule. And so for me, radical honesty became the approach of, well, I mean, you can't be upset with me if I tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. What I've since found out is that some people can't handle the truth. So you find like, hey, there's moments where, is it really that important for me to share this completely? Mm-hmm. I still feel ultimately that, I mean, if somebody asks, you know, I do say, are you sure you want to know this? But I will ultimately give you the answer. And that's been interesting in dating, because it has led to certain discussions where, you know, it's like, oh, now that I know this, I can't move forward. And it's like, well, you asked. Mm-hmm. So but I still stand by, I'm like, the right person for me long-term is going to be somebody that, you know, that can handle honesty, no matter how much it may hurt in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, honesty is their best policy. I feel like it's always a good thing, right?
It should be, yeah. I mean, I guess you can take case-by-case basis. It depends on what exactly, but I also think if somebody asks a question, it's like, well, you're going to get an answer.
Exactly.
You know, and even on the show, I mean, it's like I was chastised for answering. I'm like, but guess they were asking. Mm-hmm. So that is, as you said, I mean, there are a lot of people that didn't answer honestly or withheld. You know, it was through omission. They weren't lying. It was just they were omitting the truth. That to me is a lie still. Mm-hmm. And I was even encouraged to, hey, hold off on saying this. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that because normally, so I think the bigger mistake than, or I shouldn't call it a mistake, but the bigger thing than sleeping with all of them was telling them all that you loved them.
That's what I saw that's what people said online was the issue.
And that was the bigger issue, I think, rather than saying the chosen words that production, I'm sure, said, tell them you're falling for them, or tell them, you know, this and that, rather than saying that you're in love with them.
But being devil's advocate, can't you love multiple people at the same time? Right? And if you do,
can you be in love with more than one person at the same time? Like, you think you could fall in love with somebody else while you're married to your husband?
We have interviewed many people that are in polyamorous relatitions that love them all, you know?
And that's what the show is. It's a show based in polyamory with the final goal of monogamy.
It's true.
I mean, I can sit here and say you absolutely can, because I did it. It's like you fall in love with them, for each of them, for different things. Mm-hmm. I remember at one point my brain saying, I wish I could just combine the best of all three of them. You know, and that's like, obviously that was like, well, I had a lot of those crazy thoughts while I was there. You know, I had a thought, I'll never forget, I was in Iceland and I was on a date with one of the girls, and I remember thinking, I'm looking at her and I was just laughing. She was doing something goofy, and my brain said, I don't want this to end. I want to keep dating all three of these women. I'm like, you can't do that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, but these were the thoughts because I was given permission to be in a polygamous environment.
It's a dating trend now, by the way.
Yeah,
I know. Is
it
it
is
something that you're interested in? Would you be open to being in a poly relationship?
I never have been. I would not be. I would say no. It's hard to say because like I also think it's like initially up front, no. Like, but over time, 10, 15 years in a relationship, like I can never say never. I don't think I would ever want that. I certainly wouldn't want like another man in my relationship ever. You know, that's just from an ego standpoint. Like, don't need a man involved. If it's a woman, it's like, I don't know. I feel it's not as much of a threat to my ego. But I also think that would just create issues then. It's like potential issues. What happens when you bring someone, a third person into the relationship, and then your partner develops feelings for them? And it's like, because they just now, like, there's an intimacy involved there. So I don't believe I ever would be okay with that. But I also, I mean, I'm like, look, I've gotten away from using absolutes. Because I do think like every relationship is different. And, you know, it's maybe it would work, you know, for me and a certain person. It just have to be a certain dynamic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Can't knock it until you've tried it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm kind of I like, again, the show, I wouldn't say the show opened me up to the idea of polyamory. I truthfully, I mean, I was given permission by all of the women to, you know, just openly date. I was told by all three of the final women to explore the relationship fully right before I went into fantasy suites. Well, as a man, you think that means be intimate. And they all three said it. So I was like, ironic that they all three said it to me. But I was like, okay, like I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But again, that environment was so different. The easiest way to explain it or to really paint a picture of how this thing worked. In the real world, you go to a bar and you make out with some girl. No, all the other girls, if they see it at the bar, they're no longer interested. They're like, okay, that's who he's interested in, and I'm not interested now. I'll never forget. I was on a date, 10 women on a group date on the show. I'm talking to this one girl. We're like separated from everybody else. We talked. She ends up going in for a kiss. We kiss. We keep talking for like 2 minutes. Another girl comes in. Hey, can I steal you? She steals me, takes me to another room, sits down. We talk for like 10 minutes. Then I go in to kiss her. She stops me. She goes, hold on, wipes my lips. She goes, you had lipstick on. Wipes my lips, goes in, makes out with me. And that was when like that moment where I'm like, this is not real world. Like this woman just wiped off another woman's lipstick and no hesitation and then goes right back in to make out with me. I'm like, the environment is different here.
Yeah.
I'm being given permission by everybody to be in a polyamorous environment. And I was hesitant holding back. The producers asked me, they all throughout the way, they're like, do you think you could fall in love with multiple people? I said, no, because it'd be a train wreck if I did, which that was really foreshadowing. But I was holding back until the three final women all expressed feelings of love to me. And I was like, I'm really grateful to hear that. Well, then a week or two passed and I still hadn't said anything to them. And then two of them approached me and were like, hey, I'm starting to pull back. Because I've told you, you haven't reciprocated. So I'm thinking you must have stronger feelings for the other women. So I'm going to start putting my wall back up. And so I was faced with that moment of like, what do I do? Like, I do feel strong about all three of these women. I didn't want to have to share this, but like, if I do, it's either I do or I don't. I either continue the route I'm going and the girls put their walls back up and then I'm supposed to propose to someone who has their walls up. Or, you know, I just tell them each how I feel about them and then just see where it goes. And that was the decision I made.
Question, when you watched the show back, did you see things that you didn't experience with the girls that made you question your decisions? Would you have kept some girls longer or gotten rid of some girls earlier?
It wasn't so much what I had seen. Everything that I saw, I was aware of. I was most surprised that some storylines they made it seem way more important than what they were. So to me, I'm like, yeah, that was happening in the background, but that was not a big deal. But we just made this a 3-episode ordeal. Like this conflict was so small, so minor. Like I didn't realize you made it seem like this was the big center focus. Again, the show's just using stuff for drama.
Of course.
But no, it was more, I mean, I watched it back and I was more just annoyed with what they chose to highlight, including, again, like the big trigger point or the big turning point for me was the conversation that Susie and I had. And, you know, people were very, very upset with how I spoke to her. And, you know, that was a 4-hour conversation. And that was a conversation I tried to have off camera and I was told I was not allowed to. And so hesitantly, I finally started going down that path. And then, 4 hours of a conversation, and then the final 10 minutes are shown, and it's like, okay, but you just missed all the context. So I was more upset with like the lack of context, but I also understood, or now understand, that each episode, 2-hour episode, usually encapsulated 4 days of filming, 16-hour film days. So you're talking, what is that, 64 hours of films jammed into 2 hours. So you realize like they can't provide context, or what they just choose what to and what not to. And it's fair to say, I mean, the show chose to make me a villain. Like I'm not one. I don't think I'm perfect, but I'm not a villain. Like I don't accept that. I took that on my shoulders when I first came off the show. Now, through going through my healing journey, I'm like, I never was one. I don't take that on, that energy. I can see why people were upset with me. But you're watching a highly edited experience. So
and I think the show has changed a little bit, because I used to watch it 15 years ago with my girlfriends in PT school. We would watch it like as a break from studying or whatever. And I haven't watched it since. And so when you were coming on, I like quick binged the season. And was your season the first season sent with the new host?
Yeah, with Jesse.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if they are like trying to bring it back or revamp it, because now they have that Taylor Frankie Paul, the Mormon housewife. She's coming on as the Bachelorette. And so it's like, are they trying a little bit too hard?
No, the show's
to keep it relevant.
The show's dying.
I think so too.
When I was on back in 2011, 11 million people watched it. Now 3 million people watch it. Yeah, so it really has.
Yeah, they'll say like the streaming services, but they're trying to pump it up. But the show's dying. I mean, it's obvious.
I feel like that too.
Yeah. That's how Love is Blind. You have Perfect Match. I love Perfect Match. That's like the only reality show I watch. So you have all these other reality shows that I think that Bachelor is just. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's. I think it's just not. It was at the cutting edge of like at the time when it first came out.
Well, it was the only dating reality show. Yeah.
But now, I mean, you can see what the formula is that people like. It's Love Island that broke records as far as viewership, and what they did such a great job of was the interactive element. So people, it's not live, but it's like put out a day later.
Yeah.
So, and then people get to vote and impact people in the house, and psychologically the people in the house don't know why they're being voted a certain way. And so now there's that component. So there's audience interaction, which is massive. And then also it's just like, you really got to know these people because it was unfiltered, unedited, really just filmed, pushed out the next day. And so you can see nuance amongst these individuals. I say now, I'm like, the best show I could have ever went on would have been Love Island, which was actually ironically the first show that ever reached out to me. I said no the first time because it was too raunchy. Now I'm like, I could do that in a heartbeat. It would be super simple. But like when it first reached out, I'm like, no, I could never do that. Like I work in medical sales. Like there's no way I could be on, making out and doing all these crazy stuff on camera.
Not just making out. They're like dry humping. They're like in bikini, basically wearing nothing. The girls are, and it's pretty scandy.
Yeah. But like, again, like you almost feel like you get to know these people because you see them every day. There's like 60 episodes or whatever. And I do think, I'm like, that's the kind of show that I could benefit by going on. I'm not trying to pine for that now. I'm just saying that I see that the editors, it's blatantly obvious. The way they edit me and the way that they edit everybody is, what is the easiest way to edit this person and for how they'll be picked up by the audience. So all you have are good or bad categories. You're either going to be really good or really bad. They don't need people in the middle because that doesn't sell. They're just filler. So they look for okay, is this person received positively or negatively? And they from a superficial standpoint, they look at somebody, and I'm 6'5", 250, and everyone assumes that I'm like the guy that always had everything. And so they just look at me and they're like, he's a douchebag. And that's how the editors edit me every single time. It's like, it's lazy editing, in my opinion. I'm like, but I get it because I see it all over the internet. He's the guy that got every girl in high school. He's a superstar athlete. I'm like, I've talked about this. I was bullied. I was small. I was not a good athlete. I had to walk on at Mizzou. I worked for everything that I have. And, you guys you don't want to take the time to get to know what I really am. And neither do the producers. They just spit it out. So
It's numbers.
it's just, and I get it. They realize like we only have 12 episodes. We can't sit here and, really spend 3 episodes to show you who he really is. But that's obviously you can still even feel the frustration. There's parts of me that, I'm still working through to understand if I should fully let go of that anger towards the producers, or if I should say, no, like F them, like they treated me wrong. And I can say that. I can still, be healed, but I can still middle finger them and say like, screw you guys, but also my life is better than it's ever been. But like, I don't know. I feel like it's still okay to hold anger. I'm still working through that because I'm like, do you let go of it fully, or like, can you still be like, what you did was wrong?
Yeah. You have to be like Buddha, let it go.
Yeah. I think at some point you can still feel like you were wronged, but I think at some point you want to get rid of your anger because you don't want to hold that.
Yeah.
It will come out eventually.
Yeah, I think what I've noticed is the reason why I haven't been able to let go of it is because I'm still hated online.
Yeah.
Because of the way they edited me.
Yeah.
So
but there's been no justification.
Yes, my dancing that I do now is not liked whatsoever. Like there's a few. Well, it is liked,
Why?
but
why do you get criticized for that?
Well,
I don't get it.
there's a few reasons why. One is because people just don't like me from The Bachelor, so like they just are looking for a reason to hate me. So they see me dancing, screw this guy. There are other people that are just projecting. I think that's another big reason. People look at me and they go, and they try to send hate comments to get me to stop. And the reason is because I'm not that great of a dancer, which I'm aware of, but I like to dance. That being said, I threaten people's egos because if you see someone like Chris Brown dancing, your ego goes, wow, that's incredible. Like I could never do that. So there's no threat. You see me dancing, you go, that's not even good. Why is he posting this online? Like I could do that. And then their egos respond with, well, then why don't you? And the answer is it's fear. They're fearful of judgment from others. That's what's stopping them from doing what I'm doing. Because I'm pushing out the message that like, you all can do this. Like I'm 3 years in and I've made the progress I've made, but look at me. I have a long ways to go. But like, you all can't stop me. I'm going to keep dancing until I decide I'm done. You will never stop me with your negative feedback. But also, how about some of you all, instead of just attacking me, like go try something out of your comfort zone, because really that's what you're bothered by is that like, you could do what I'm doing, but you're too scared to do it. So that's, I'm triggering their egos, and that's why they're sending negativity my way. But a big major reason is because I was just not liked on The Bachelor. And so that's why I still hold on to the anger, because I still know why I'm being hated on.
But you also have fans from The Bachelor too, right?
I do. And they're great. And I have a whole community of people that really, like me.
And everyone's going to have haters. I mean, I'm not famous and I have so many haters on TikTok that daily call me a cow and call me ugly and a troll. I feel like if you're on social media, you're going to have haters, right?
You are.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. And someone would say, well, Clayton, then just get off social media. And I'm like, no, because I see social media as a tool. The amount of opportunities that have come from social media, the money, I live the life that I love to live now. I'm doing better than I've ever been doing. Contrary to people online saying like, this guy's undateable. This guy, like, is he struggling for money? Is that why he's doing these dance cameos? I'm like, guys, like sometimes I have moments where I want to just come online and just show you everything I have and just be like, shut up, like that. But my ego then goes, no, you don't need to do that. Right. So like, I do play this game of like, yeah, it is something where I'm balanced. It's a balancing act. And when I do get overwhelmed, I start to like get away from social media. But I really do feel that if I just deleted my account, I'm like, I posted a dance video, I get 250,000 views on average. Like, I'm like, that reach, you know how much that would cost to be able to get that amount of eyes on something? And I've gotten tons of business from, I just did a real estate deal because a client saw my dance video online. So I'm like, you guys realize that like I'm making a ton of money off of social media with my real life job. Like I can't shut this down.
Don't shut it down because then they win. That's what they want.
Well, that's the
they
other
want to push you off. Don't let them win.
That's the other part of it is my ego is like, you're not going to win this. Like I'm going to beat your egos to a pulp where you're just going to finally be like, and I'm like, it's either what it's going to take is either you're going to finally see all the things that I have. I'm not going to throw it in your face, but you'll start to pick up on it. You'll see the house in the background or the car I'm walking by or whatever. And you'll be like, oh, wow. he seems to actually have a lot, or I'm going to become a really great dancer one day where it's like, holy shit, he's actually good. And I can't say anything about it anymore. I'm still not there. I watch my videos still and I'm like,
but you know what? You have the confidence to post these videos of you dancing that does gain criticism, and you might not be a professional dancer, but I think that's key. Like, you have so much confidence, so good for you.
Well, and that's also why I post, is because I do challenge my ego and challenge myself to say, like, are you really over this? Like, can you really, like, or do you have the confidence to be able to continue pushing forward? Or are you going to allow this to collapse you? So I do kind of challenge myself and test myself, and that's why I post. And so it's like, why are you subjecting yourself to this? It's because adversity builds character. And so I'm purposely subjecting myself to criticism.
Good for you.
Because that's how I grow. And that's how I've always grown.
I have a question for you. You keep saying The Bachelor, I got a bad edit on The Bachelor, I hate the producers. Do you like the way you were edited on The Perfect Match?
No.
Because I thought you were edited worse on that than The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were very unfair to you.
I think they pulled the same edit. And I had a great experience on the show. I really love the cast. They were characters. They're hilarious. They all were just super special in their own ways, very, very talented. I had a blast, like, filming. And so I really thought that it was going to be a great edit because I was respected in the house. I had when I exited, everyone, they got gathered around and everyone hugged me and we all had a shot together. And it was a really, like, happy ending. Rachel and I made amends and she apologized to me. And I apologized to her, obviously. And it was like, we're good. And, I really care about you and I wish you the best. The show warped everything. And it was just like, when I watched it, I'm like, this is not at all how it happened, and there was stuff that they put out there that I didn't say. So, like, I'm watching the show and I'm like, those words never came out of my mouth. And that was what actually made me even more angry than when I was on The Bachelor. Is I'm like, at least The Bachelor didn't use, like, they never Frankenbit my audio. They definitely took audio and then made it and seem like I was talking to somebody when I wasn't, but they didn't, like, completely, like, chop parts of my, language or whatever and put it together. And it's like that sentence was never said.
Yeah.
That never actually occurred that way. And so that was really agitating. So I sent a pretty gnarly email to the producers, and I said, I'm not promoting the show. I pulled down my photo. I took everything off because I was pissed, and I'm like, you guys just did the same shit all over again that, like, ABC pulled on me. And I'm like, it's just really tiring because if you would just show me as I am, then I wouldn't be upset. But, like, you guys you go the extra mile.
Because they want the numbers, they want the drama.
They want people to talk.
Yeah.
And
they don't care about our feelings, or they don't care about us, period.
You're a number.
Yeah,
you are
true.
a number, and that's just the way it is. But, like, that's why I'm okay with it at the end of the day. Like, I don't hate the producers. And truthfully, it's not even the producers, it's the editors. It's the editors that have always been my problem. Like, but the editors you never meet them face to face. And I think that's by design because they're going to wreck you and they're going to be like, but I never met the guy, so I won't feel as bad. Whereas, like, the producers are face to face with you. And I had producers break down in tears and I would look at them and I'm like, how dare you do this to me? And they'd break down and be like, I'm so sorry. There were a couple producers that left. I don't know if it was strictly because of me, but they did mention, like, this is
because of your season.
It's weighing too much on me. Like, I can't keep doing this to people. And I'm like, yeah, no, like, it does weigh on you because I'm attacking you. When the reality is, it's just not even you. There's people above you, and there's the editors. And, like, are they monsters? I mean, no, I don't think they're monsters. They're just doing their job. Yeah. And
you had on The Bachelor, in my opinion, like, the craziest group of women. Like, they were insane. And then on Perfect Match. So I've watched Siesta Key and Juliet.
Yeah,
like,
Juliet.
I want to go to Siesta Key and party with her because she seems so fun, but she is certifiably insane. Like, she is crazy. Do you attract that toxic, crazy girl in real life too? Or is that sort of just the hand that you were dealt on your shows?
Yeah. No, well, I think it's interesting you say that because yes, Juliet is pretty wild. She's a free spirit. She's got a lot to say and she doesn't hold back. Like, she has a chaotic energy to her. Certainly that was not, but if you watch if you watch The Perfect Match, like, again, I don't remember exactly how it was edited because I didn't watch half the season when I turned it off and I was like, screw this show. But we matched, we're the last match.
You were like by default.
Yeah, by
default. It wasn't
default.
like you chose her
Yeah.
to be your match.
I was trying to match with Lucy. So if you looked at like Lucy, it's like she's pretty calm energy.
Okay.
You know, I
Okay.
just like, she just went after Daniel. And so then I was like, okay. Then I tried to match with Madison, and then she matched with Cody. And so then I just ended up like matching with her by default. But, you know, her and I, like, our energies were not going to last.
Yes.
And so her and I were basically like, look, like we'll stay together until like somebody comes into the house that we're interested in, and then like just let's notify the other, give the other one time, you know, a heads up, so that it's like, hey, I want to go for this person. Okay, that gives you now the rest of the day to try to like
figure out who you're going to
break up in the house.
Okay.
So that was our plan, and I did do that for her. I just when Rachel came in, it was already like, I think she came at like 4 p.m. that day. So it was basically like, I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to match with her. By the time I made the decision, I'm like, Juliet, I tell her she's got like an hour left.
Yeah.
And she's like, what am I supposed to do with an hour? I was like, I didn't think I was going to match with her, but like now it's just a bunch of emotions, and I don't know. I'm just like feeling overwhelmed, and I just feel like right now, like her and I have a stronger match than you and I do. So like I'm going off with a stronger match right now.
Yeah.
Were you really interested in pursuing things with Rachel again, or did you just want to stay on the show a bit longer?
Oh, no, I had zero interest in, like, I didn't care about TV time whatsoever.
Really?
No. And again, that's where I sent myself home, like on the show. So I basically, the way that the way it was aired was not how it happened. Like I said, I went I won the kissing challenge or whatever with Sandy. And then I told her that night, I was like, hey, I hope it's a board of guys tomorrow, because I feel so wrong. I have to break up with Rachel. I hadn't broken up with her at that point. I was like, but I'm not feeling right about this. So like Sandy and I were talking, like, I have to go break up with her tonight. Like, and then I hope it's a boardroom of guys tomorrow, because I'm going to put her on a date and knock myself out of the house. And that's what I said. And then they made it seem like when the boardroom came, I was like, they show like the guys on the board, and I didn't remember. I was like, made it look like I was like, shit. I was like, that's exactly what I wanted. I knocked myself out of the house. I didn't give a shit about TV time. I'm like, I don't care.
So you were initially interested in giving Rachel another shot, exploring that relationship to see if there was something still there?
Yes. Well, yeah, because like she comes in the house, and I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. It was on my phone, screensaver. That's literally what it said. Everything happens for a reason. I still believe that to this day. So when she walks in the house, I'm like, what are the chances? I'm on a Netflix show. Like, and I did not expect them to bring her on. They could have brought anybody else on, but they bring her.
Well, I'm sure the producers concocted all that for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they do that. They bring in people that you have histories
Well, I'll
with.
be honest with you though. I didn't think I was that important to like have the show make one of their major plot lines be Rachel and I, because that became the main plot. That was the major plot line of that show. And I just, at least that's how it felt, at least for the first half of the show. And I'm thinking, like, I truly thought, I'm like, I'm not that important. I'm coming on a Netflix show. I'm not going to be the priority. It's going to be all these other Netflix stars, because it's their world. And I'm just getting brought in. So, like, I didn't expect to have the major storyline. And that's, like, where it was like, whoa, okay, like, we just took ABC and smashed it together.
That would have made me totally be like, okay, done, I'm out. Like, is that sort of what made your decision to then send her on a date and sort of send yourself home?
Yeah, I mean, I was just at that point, again, in the moment when she walked through the door, I was like excited to see her, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is someone I really cared about, had feelings for, you know, and very strong feelings. And so I thought, oh, hey, you're here. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, we're in Tulum together. Like, more so even just like, what, this is so wild that we're back on a TV show after 3 years of not being on a show. And then it was like, oh, by the way, I have to make a decision tonight. And I'm like, well, I hate to say it, but like Julia and I have a weak ass connection right now. So there's nothing there. So like, hey, I told her, I was like, I can't promise anything, but like right now I do want to match with you. And so that was it. And she was like, okay, like I'm scared. And I was like, hey, I understand you're scared, but like, I can't promise that like this is going to be something, but like all I can tell you is right now in this moment that I feel more strongly about this than I do with her. So like, we should give this a chance. And that was it. But then like after everything unfolded, and then she, you know, became very emotional, and I was like, gosh damn it. Like this whole thing is about to blow up all over again. And I was like, forget this. Like, I'm done, you know, like I'm cool, you know, but then again, like all the my castmates they're like, I mean, it's pretty wild, Clayton, that you switched your mind up in less than 12 hours, but they're like, but that being said, like you handled it maturely, like you didn't drag it out. because I knew I could have just I knew the easy way out would have been her and I just basically stay matched through the end of the show. Yeah. And then I just break up with her at the end of the show and be like, yeah, it couldn't work out or whatever. Yeah. And I would have been saved from all the ridicule. But I'm not that kind of guy that's scared of blowback. And so I was like, no, that would be even worse to carry her through the rest of the show and then just be like, see ya. You know, so I was like, no, I know that there's like, this will not last. And so I need to end this. And the least that I can do is put her on a date, knock myself out of the house. I feel like that's the most admirable thing I can do, because it also shows that I don't give a shit about TV time. I don't care. And I really didn't. I'm like, so I'm back to the regular work right now. I'm like, I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to be an actor. Like, I just went on the shows because they challenged me to go into an environment that's foreign. And I find it psychologically entertaining. So I'm like, let's see how good I am at really being able to navigate an environment that's so different, you know? And every time I go on there and I'm like, yeah, it throws me for a loop, but it's also because I'm like, yeah, I have producers plotting against me.
Exactly.
So I'm not even fighting the house. I'm fighting these producers on the back end that have this whole narrative that they're just waiting to construct, and they're throwing traps out, and like, I'm either falling into them or I'm not, you know? And so, you know, that's where, again, like, I probably will never go on a dating show ever again, just because I'm like, I'm tired of you guys throwing the same traps. Like, how about you guys like try something different? But I don't think they will. I think it's easy to, at this point, you can't make me the hero.
Yeah. So how much are you willing to say about your current real life dating life? Are you dating someone from Bachelor Nation? Are you dating someone from a reality show? Or are you dating just
somebody just from...
Did you meet in the wild?
From life?
Out in the wilds.
Wow. Yeah. That's not heard of nowadays.
Did she recognize you? Did she know who you were?
I'm trying to think. I mean, she didn't know initially, but then she found her friends, like, knew.
Of course.
Did you meet, like, in a bar or restaurant, that kind of thing?
Actually on a dating app, so.
Oh, a dating app, okay.
Yeah, because I'm not really extroverted. People I think are, sometimes like, how are you not? But I'm like, no, I really like to keep to myself. And I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking, so I just work out and work. And you know, and I like to, like, obviously hang out with family and all that, and then like go on some hikes and do some active stuff. But like, I don't really like go out a lot, so I just was like, yeah, the apps are a way for me to meet people additionally. And
did women think you were a catfish on the apps? Did you get asked that question?
Like, yeah, but never by like the people that I was actually interested in. I think honestly the people that are like, I don't believe this, are the ones that that are like kind of like putting me on a pedestal. You know, the women that, which kind of in a way like push those people away from me, because I'm like, look, I don't want you to put me on a pedestal. So the women that aren't going to question this, because they also go, yeah, I mean, I'm on this app as well, so like, I'm not surprised that he is. It's like, that's just a confidence thing. If you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way it's actually you. It's like, well, obviously now, like, we understand there's a power dynamic difference here.
Yeah, because you're romanticized. They've romanticized you.
Yes, and I'm like, and that actually was a turnoff. And I'm like, I don't want to go near that, because like, you're going to romanticize me. You're going to put me on a pedestal, and I need to be with a woman that sees me at an equal playing field. So,
did dating change for you after you were on these reality shows?
Yeah, but it just changed because I had to be able to see through the bullshit. You know, there were plenty of women that would try to act like they didn't know who I was when they did. And here's the thing, I was like, I didn't care if you knew me or not. Yeah, but I was like, look, you don't have to know me. And I'm like, but when it was annoying, I would appreciate it if a girl's like, yeah, I know who you are. But like, whatever, I watched your season and it is what it is. But like, now I want to get to know you for who you really are. I'm sure that's not exactly who you are. Great, perfect, okay, let's move on. Right? Those upfront, honest girls, that's what I love. But there was a lot of girls that I would run into. They're like, yeah, sorry, but I don't watch the show, so hopefully that's not offensive. And then I would find out that like they did watch the show, and they'd be like, okay, well, I did see this, but like I didn't see your season. And I'm like, okay, you're lying to me.
Yeah.
You know, so now I'm like, why are you even lying to me up front? Like this, we shouldn't have to lie about this. You know, this should just be a conversation piece that we can dive in if you want. You know, I started like, there was one girl that I actually liked, and we talked for a bit. She was a huge fan, not of me, but of the show. So she was just like, oh my gosh, I think it's crazy. Are you cool if I ask you a bunch of questions? We talked for like an hour and a half about it. And then at the end, she's like, okay, I feel good about that. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I really do love the show. She's like, but now I just want to like obviously get to know you beyond that. And I respected that. I'm like, right, like some girls are big fanatics. I had an ex-girlfriend that was a pretty big fan of the show. So I'm like, that's not a problem if you're a fan. But when you start trying to hide it and be like, yeah, I'm not really like, yeah, I didn't watch your season. I hope that's okay. And like, I don't watch the show. And it's like, but you do. So like now I can't trust you.
And then pretty soon they start saying things that they would only know if they watched your season.
And that's what would happen.
And you're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
We want to make you shrimp for dinner?
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. They'd say stuff that would actually happen. It would be like, you know, do you ever think that you could like, you know, date multiple people? I know you did on the show and like you fell in love with multiple people. And I'm like, she's like, after, since we've been talking now, I went back and I watched a little bit and I'm like, oh, like, okay, which could be true. But also I'm like, yeah, like you're starting to leak stuff where it's just like, you watched in depth. Like,
that's funny.
You know, and again, I don't think I would care if a girl went back and watched it all. You know, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, the girl that I'm seeing now is like, I don't really care to watch it. I said, well, I do want to go back and watch it for myself to see the growth. She's like, well, can I watch it with you? And I was like, yeah, sure. She's like, I just think it'd be really interesting, like ask you things along the way. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm cool with that. So it's just, again, it's just like, there's nothing wrong with someone being a fan or whatever, but like, yes, it's made it more challenging with dating because I have to root through the BS. And it's like, because there are women out there that do care of celebrity status and they think, what can I get from this? And there have been women that are like, hey, if I'm adjacent to him, like I'll get more eyes on me. So if I post on social media, you know, I can get, you know, I can launch my career, you know, or I can get invited to these events and I can meet other celebrities and maybe they're trying to get in front of another guy, you know, and then girls are like, oh, I know so-and-so, like I've, you know, I ran into this celebrity and it's like, they start throwing, it's like, what are you doing? Like, why? That's also many men, like
the name dropping.
We all hate name dropping.
Yeah.
There's not a single man out there that does not like, that likes name dropping. So I don't know why. My understanding is women do it to kind of like validate themselves as like, hey, I have those level of people. So like I have a certain level of worth because I have those people in my DMs. Because it's like, I don't know. We don't really get it as men. We're like, why, like it's one of the biggest turnoffs. Like, I don't care who you know.
It's an ick for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you have a specific line that women would use on you? Like, did you have a lot of women coming up to you like, oh my God, you're so tall? Or
no, I mean, like,
how's the weather up there?
oh my God.
No, because I'm also too, I mean, especially on those apps, it's like, you know, I'm not a catchphrase person or I don't throw liners out. It's just like, hey, how you doing? That's it. Because I'm like, I'm not that kind of guy that's like, I have to come up with something creative and say something to you. I'm like, game to me is just like being able to have a conversation. And all that superficial stuff to me is just a waste of my time anyways. Like I want to get to the deep stuff. So, no, like I mean, I've had girls that have, you know, come up and they've shot their shot and I appreciate it because it's confidence. That's what I appreciate. So I'm like, wow, you're showing me you have confidence to walk up because I see like girls looking at me and, you know, but they don't approach me. And it's like, right, like you're talking about me. This happened yesterday. I was out at a bar and there was like 7 girls that were all, you know, they spotted me. They're all excited, you know, like excited, you know, like pointing and then looking at me. One of the girls was filming me. It was like from 20 feet away. And I'm like, I see them. And I'm like, just come up and say something. Like, or unless I didn't care to, you know, I don't think that group was a group of girls. So I don't think they were interested in like coming up and talking to me to date.
Yeah. They were just happy that they saw someone that was quote
so that's a little bit
famous.
different. But like I have had, you know, those moments where I'm like, just come up and say something, you know. So I do commend girls that do. I had a girl that bought me a drink once. I thought I was super attractive. She comes up, she's like, here, I got you a drink. And I'm just like, oh, roles are reversed, you know, like, and so I always appreciated confidence. But yeah, and then also I also had that whole crazy scandal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that, you know, I've had to become smarter.
Yeah.
I've had to protect my brand. Like I now know the worth that I have. Like nobody thinks like I'm bigger. Like I believe in myself more than anybody. So I now know I'm like, dude, you're a special kind of person. Like as anyone should think about themselves, but I'm like, you have a lot to lose. So you need to elevate your standard.
So you broke up with Susie. Have you had a relationship since, cause that was back in 2022?
Yeah.
Have you had a serious relationship since then?
No.
So this is your first one.
How do you feel about dating multiple women at once? Or do you kind of, once you start talking to a woman, do you sort of put all your energy there? Have you been scarred a little bit?
Well, so when you say that, like talking to multiple, I think like there's a phase before you go exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there's like, I was up until this point, you know, with being in an exclusive relationship, I had options. I was talking to multiple women. And yeah, I mean, you basically, cause you're like, look, like I want to keep all options open because I'm looking for the best fit for me. And so then time just unravels these things. You start to like say, oh, that can't work. I found out, I'm a spiritual person. I don't follow organized religion anymore. But I do believe in God. I'm very spiritual. And I found out before this girl, there was a girl that, she was very strong in her Jewish faith. And I didn't have a problem with her being Jewish, but she was like, this is the way that I will always be. I expect my kids to be Jewish. And I'm like, so you're very rigid with your beliefs. She's like, yeah. I was like, I respect that. I'm very fluid in my beliefs right now. And I could go back to Christianity, or I could become Jewish, or I could become Buddhist. I don't know. I said, the point is like, I'm all over the map right now. And to me, I'm like, I don't think it's worth us continuing this, because like, what happens if I do go back to Christianity? And I was like, then like, we're going to have a divide. And she was in a belief system where she's like, I can't ever step foot in a church. So I was like, this is going to be and my family is all predominantly Christian. So I was like, that's going to cause tension potentially. So, that unraveled. She was great. She was awesome. I told her that ultimately it couldn't work. And she's like, I respect you and thank you for telling me and not dragging this. But like, those are the things where like, you're like, you never know what it's going to be. I never thought that was going to be a point where it was going to end something, even though the person was so great. On paper, she fit everything that I was looking for initially. So yeah, I keep the options open, and I don't lie to the women. Like if they ask me, are you talking to other women? I mean, for one, I also think that's a lack of confidence, if you're asking that question. The girl that I'm with now never asked that. She made a comment like, I assumed that you were talking to other people. And she said that she was too. And I'm like, yeah, I assume.
Yeah.
Because if
you assume that if you're casually dating, you assume that both parties are casually dating.
And if you see them as a high value person, you assume that like high value people attract multiple suitors. So like, you're like, I would expect multiple men to be going after you. And ultimately, like, it's like you chose me over them in the same way that like, I chose her over a few other women that I was like, hey, I'm now dating this individual, or about to, and things are getting serious. And so you make that decision of like, hey, we haven't made it like exclusive yet, but I don't want to mess this up. So like, I'm at the point where I'm ready to pursue her and only her. So that's when I would then cut the other women out and say like, hey, I'm starting to get serious with somebody. And then it's like, yeah, hopefully she feels the same way. So
what do you do now? You do real estate?
Yeah.
You're an Airbnb host.
Yeah.
What is this Pickleball? I hear that you.
That was from, that show I filmed 3 years ago. And they were hoping it was going to get a major network, but now it's just going to be released on YouTube. So they finally, after all these discussions, were like, we're just going to release it on YouTube. So
it's like a show about pickleball?
Yeah. And I was the host, which was fun. It was my first little hosting gig. It was here locally.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it, but yeah, it just took forever to come out. So that was just a thing I did 3 years ago.
Okay. So your primary job right now is real estate? You're with Russ Lyons, right?
Yeah, and solar sales. And then, but yeah, like I do like 4 different things. I'm about to launch an Airbnb course in the new year, how to become the top 1% Airbnb in your city, because I have an Airbnb and it is the top 1%. So I'm now going to create a course, which is where all the money is online. So like that's going to blow up into so many things. I just believe it. So like that's where I'm putting all my energy. But up until that point, I stepped away from corporate America and I just pick up jobs along the way.
And you're a mental health speaker as well?
I have spoken on mental health. It's been a minute since I've spoken. Okay. So I even changed it on my bio recently back to mental health advocate. I was facing a bit of a wall where I was getting a lot of, again, blowback online by people saying he shouldn't be speaking on this. He's not an expert. And I understood they're saying like he doesn't have the credentials, but I have that's a big trigger for me. I think that just because you have a certificate or a degree does not make you an expert. What makes you an expert is experience.
100%.
So I've gotten into it recently I got into it with a doctor over peptides. For the exact reason, because she was coming after me saying, I've studied this for 30 years. And I said, but have you taken them? No. I said, then I'm sorry, but I can't take your word. Like you can talk, you've studied it, and 30 years is a long time. I was also, again, a little bit in my ego with this response, but I'm like, the best teacher is experience. So if you haven't had it happen to you, if you haven't done it, then don't tell me what you think it does. You don't know, and it's the same way even on The Bachelor. People are like, I would never have done what he did. I was like, well, I thought I'd never do what I did either. So the point is until you I don't care. You can tell me, well, I'd never fall in love with multiple people. That means nothing to me, because like until you go on that show and are in my shoes, your opinion means nothing, like, because you have no experience. Because I said I would never fall in love with multiple people. So, you know, it just, yeah, anyways, it's that's just a side note. That's something recently I got animated on social media. I went after this doctor, and I was pissed me off because she came into my DMs or my comments and was trying to make me look bad in front of my audience. I'm like, you came on my page, didn't ask you to. And I'm like, and I was like, and I have a problem with people. Like, I get attacked by therapists that call me a narcissist, that call me a monster, that they're cursing me out of my DMs, and I click on their bio and it's like therapist. I'm like, you should take a little bit of your own medicine. Like, you should get your license revoked too, because like, do you think because you're a therapist that like now you can just spew? What are you doing? This is not what a therapist would do. But they have the title, so they think they can speak. I had someone that called me out. She was an intuition coach. And that one riled me up. I almost blew up on her. I was like, what is an intuition coach? And how can you tell me that it's not my intuition when intuition is based upon personal lived experience, and it's what's I'm feeling within? How can you tell me as an outsider, not knowing who I am, whether that's my intuition or not? So I digress, but like, this is just more like.
So trolling trolls is another hobby of yours.
Well, I never go
bit.
there. Because again, like, I'm always like biting my tongue. I'm like, I'm typing stuff out. I'm like, no. Because I'm like, it's not worth your time, because you're just going to, you're going to attack them, and you're probably going to wreck their confidence. And then like, they're going to go like, for what? Like, what do I gain from that? Yeah. Like, if I wanted to, I could steamroll somebody online, but then like, they're going to just go down a dark path and at my doing. And it's like, so who, am I the better person? Yeah. Like, I shut them up, but like, at what cost? Their own mental health. And it's like, as much as I hate their negativity, I don't hate them as the person. So I'm like, I could destroy you. I just don't, because like, I know that like, I don't want to actually do that to a person. I hate what you're projecting, but I don't hate you as the human. Like, you're just a hurt individual that needs help, and hopefully somebody can save you before like you do get someone that decides to.
Right. I wish there could be a way to regulate like who's allowed to comment online.
Right.
Oh, it'd be great. Well, that's the problem now is with social media is like negativity gets, you know, they get a positive feedback loop. Yes. They get validated.
Yes.
You know,
anybody can say anything.
And there's so much negativity online that like, when you make a negative hot take, it gets 100,000 likes, and then that person goes, oh, what it does is it tells them I should be more negative.
Yeah.
I'm getting validated. And really, it's like, those likes mean nothing. Those 100,000 likes you just had did what? Yeah. Like, did you just make more money? Yeah. Like, do you have more opportunities coming? No, like, you just, likes they mean nothing. But I get it. They feel like something at first. When you first get them, it's like a drug. I remember when I came off reality television, I would post a video. I would sit there for the first 5 minutes and watch the likes. Oh my God. And I would just be like, it was like dopamine hits after it would be 10,000 likes in 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm important. And you're just like, but then now you realize you're like, none of that matters. Like, it means nothing.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. The Keep More Minute, brought to you by Tactical Tax Strategies. They help you keep more in your wallet. We help you keep more in your relationship. So we have a listener question. My boyfriend and I have been talking about marriage a lot lately, and I don't know how I feel about the financial aspect. He wants to share everything, and I think I'd prefer to keep things separate. Is combining finances really a sign of trust, or is it the beginning of something different?
It's a good question.
Do you want to answer that?
No, you go first.
All my answers are going to be, it depends upon the two people in that relationship. And this is where that individual that asked that question, it was a woman, right? Yeah. My advice to you is to rely heavily on your intuition and try to understand where there's a block, why you're not so willing to just proceed with sharing everything. It sounds like to me that she may make more than he does. That's my guess. And so she's now maybe feeling a potential threat of like, once mine becomes his, he may start draining our accounts, and that might then start create financial stress, which is the biggest stressor in a relationship, and has always been, as far as I understand. So to me, the hesitancy is that I don't think I think that the lack of trust is already there.
Yeah,
she doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
So for me, like me and my husband, my money is his money is my money. We have a joint account and we share everything and we're so transparent. I trust him fully, he trusts me fully, but you really have to have that trust and be on the same page financially, you know, because you hear of these spouses that are just so frivolous with their money and, you know.
I'd want to have do you have a separate account?
Nope.
You don't? Not at all?
Nope.
See, I think I would want to have a separate account because I want to be able to buy things for my partner that they don't know about. And how do you do that if you share everything?
Well, hold on, but I don't feel like, do you go in and like check and look at like what you're buying every month though? Because I hardly look ever.
I hardly ever look.
Yeah, so I feel like I feel like you can get away with it.
But I was the little girl who would snoop in my mom's closet to find what Christmas gifts we were getting. So like if I know my birthday's coming up, I'm going to check the accounts because I want to know. I'm nosy like that.
And you are in a relationship right now?
No.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No.
Well, because I think it's also like you're like, hey, well, thinking it from your standpoint of like, I would maybe go snoop around if I thought something was up. But then it's like whenever you're with that partner, it's like, will they do that though? They might be the person that's like, I'm not gonna go check. Like I know
that's true.
Like, so it's like you're
in my
framing
personal learn me. They'll be like, I just have to buy her shit in cash.
Or just get a separate Amazon account so that
that's true.
you know.
That's true.
So we'll see the charge on the credit card, but it's from
Amazon. I hope he's not buying my birthday gifts from Amazon, whichever. Guy it is.
You don't think Amazon has good quality? I've gotten on board fully with Amazon now.
No, I do. There's so many fake. Like there's so many fake. And what do you call it?
Just like the knockoffs?
Like the knockoffs, yeah. Like dupes and stuff that put the label on of what it is. I don't know. It's Amazon is fine.
Yeah. But you like
a more
nice,
personalized. I would like something more personal. Yeah.
Or just something like authentic, real,
yes.
like what it is, not some knockoff, like the real thing.
Yes.
You have a certain taste. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I like nice things.
Yeah.
So we have a few listener questions specifically for you.
Okay.
We've kind of already answered this. What are your thoughts on open relationships, open marriages, polyamory? We've answered that. Someone wants to know if you have any interest in men, which I think you've touched about. Someone says, give me the most important piece of dating advice.
The most important piece of dating advice, that's what I harp on all the time, is authenticity. So I really believe we have a pandemic of a lack of authenticity in our society. I think everybody, especially with social media, is trying to be accepted and be cool and be seen as, wow, you have an incredible life. And so everyone's putting their highlight reels on social media and everyone's afraid to step out of their comfort zone and go against the grain. The problem is like if you have within you, if you want to be, different, you're depriving yourself of the person that's going to allow you to be that. Because if you push out a version of you that's not really you, it's like it's the made up version, like then you're gonna attract a person that likes that version. And that's what I used to do. I'm so grateful because like the dancing and all that, people go, oh, it's cringy, I would never date it. I'm like, right, I would never date you. Because like I don't want a woman that's going to look at me and be like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. I want a woman that's gonna be sitting there and like, are you going to go and date? Like, look at this guy. And I'm over there just bopping around, hitting dance moves in a bar or a wedding. And they're like, yeah, that's just Clayton. Like, I got to get out there right now. I want to go dance with them. Like, I want that support, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if you're not really being fully authentic, then you're just hurting yourself because you're going to attract what you are. And if like you're not anywhere close to what you really want to be, then like you're going to keep attracting the exact opposite, right? So it's like, if you want to be goofy, stop worrying about being cringy. Like you will be cringy to somebody. You'll be cringy to the wrong people. You'll repel them. And I've repelled a ton of people, but it's like, I repel those people and then I attract the ones that are like, I just love goofs. Yeah. And that's what I get. I get the girl, like I'm a goof. That's the way I am. I like to not take life seriously. I like to just screw around. And so I do that. And that's what I attract now is the girls that are just like, I like a guy that doesn't take himself too seriously, but also has that confidence. And so it's made dating way easier because I naturally repel what's not meant for me.
My favorite quote since I was literally 13 years old has been, in a world where you can be anything, be yourself. Because I feel like nowadays people try to be someone they're not, but just be yourself. Then you'll attract the people that you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. The next one is, do guys really like long nails and fake lashes?
It depends on the guy. All I can say, I come from Midwest Missouri. I really feel like that kind of look is more like East West Coast. Mm-hmm. It's like you don't see a lot of women that have like the long nails and eyelashes in the Midwest. At least I don't remember that. So to me, it's fake. Mm-hmm. you know, like nails aren't actually that long. Eyelashes aren't that long naturally. And I love authenticity. So to me, that means like, I want real all across the board. If it makes a woman happy, that's great. Like, but I can't speak for all men. I can just say, like, for me personally, I want a woman that's natural as she can be. Doesn't mean they can't have a little bit of filler there if it makes them happy, but like, I like the natural look. I'm like, I don't want all the filler. The plastic this, plastic that. I'm like, you know, again, I think like that's the East West Coast thing. And some people find that attractive. The people that I've been around don't typically find that attractive.
Did you really love Susie, Gabby, and Rachel at the same time, or did you just want to have fun?
I loved each of them for different things. That question just, yeah, I mean, it's not going to upset me that much because I'm not on my high horse about that today, but I didn't need to tell girls what they needed to hear to have sex or have fun with them. Like, I'm not that desperate. Yeah. Like, I did not need to be with any of those three women. Could have been fine without it. I just soul explored relationships fully, so I did. So when I hear that, I'm like, you say that like I'm desperate and I've never been able to like get a girl to come back home with me. Like, that wasn't a problem.
You're 6'5". I'm sure you don't have a problem.
People online love to say like he's so cringy. Ew, like I don't know, girl. That's why he's single. And I'm like, I'm single by choice. It has nothing to do with like, you guys act like I struggle. I walk around, everyone's like, oh, he's hideous. Oh, he's so embarrassing. Like,
he's an ogre.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh my gosh.
He's an ogre.
Like, yeah, he's here comes from under the bridge. I'm like,
who is your role model?
I don't know him personally, but I've always looked up to The Rock because what I like about The Rock from the little I know about him, from what I've seen, is like that man is like, he looks like he's got everything. You know, and from what I've heard, people that work with him, they say like he never acts like he's better than anybody. But he's also 6'3", he's 250, he's a good-looking guy. He's a multimillionaire, known by like, he's probably the most well-known person on the planet. And everything I've heard about him is he's so humble. I'm like, that man has not allowed his ego to overtake him. And I look up to people like that because I want to be that way. I'm still working through like, how do I possess confidence without coming across cocky? There have been a few things today that I've said on here that I'm like, could be perceived as cocky. And I'm still like, I'm like, where's the balance? Because I want to have full confidence without coming across as cocky. But then, yeah, my ego, I'm like, you can't get rid of your ego. So it's like, how do I have an ego without like letting it become too much? And I think when you start to get welled up with a ton of anger is typically when you cross that line. But I think The Rock seems to do a great job. I don't feel like you ever really see him getting pissed off.
Right.
You know, so I look up to him.
Can men and women be just friends?
Yes, if this one hit my DM, so I already had this one in my head. The answer is yes if one of the parties is not attracted to the other one. So if they're both attracted, the answer is, in my opinion, no, because like once you have the soul tie, you interact intimately. Like, actually, you know what? There's still a time and a place where that can work. Like, you can have a friends with benefits. Like, it can work. It's hard. And typically, like someone in there, and I had one once in my lifetime, and it lasted like a year. And we stayed strictly friends, but at one point, feelings were caught, so she had to take some time away. And then she came back and was like, "Okay, now I'm good. We can just keep this strictly, platonic."
Strictly dickly.
Yeah. And that's what it was. And it was like, then she was just like, "I only got 20 minutes. I'm coming over." And I was like, "Okay." And then we had the times where we could she just had to come to terms with it. So it can happen. Most times, no. The answer is no. I think, emotions get involved. And so but if someone's not attracted to the other and they never cross that boundary, then it doesn't mix it up. Because the second that you're into it with somebody, you're on a whole nother level of connection. Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to discuss this quick article, the top 5 ethnicities that cheat the most. Can you guess?
I sent this to you, so I already know.
What country do you think has the most infidelity? Would you guess?
Most country. What country?
Number 1, cheaters.
I feel like we, as the U.S.
That's what I would have thought. Number 5, India.
Okay.
That's kind of shocking. 4, French. The bloody French.
Okay.
3, USA was number 3.
Number 3, okay.
2, Nigeria. And I'm still in denial about number 1. England!
England?
What? Mm-hmm. I'm from England.
England's pretty sex positive from what I hear.
Yeah. Well, they're very open about their sexuality, so maybe. I was disappointed with that one.
I was surprised because when I saw that video, it was one of those, it was like a guessing game, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the guys was guessing which countries, and Italian, one of his first guests was Italian men, right? Italian people or whatever, and that wasn't on there. Yeah. And so I was like waiting for number one, and when he said England. I was like, oh my God, I have to send this to Lyndsie.
So funny. Now it's time for the celebrity couple. We marinate in the juices of the celebrities. So we got to talk, because I keep seeing her in the news, Laura Owens. Like, what the hell? You're one of her many victims, right?
Are you able to talk about it?
Yeah.
Didn't you do this to many guys?
Yeah, there's 5.
What? And you weren't even intimate with her, right?
Oh, how much can I say on this? Can I say whatever? on this?
Whatever, yeah.
Okay, yeah. She gave me head twice. So.
So you didn't penetrate her. So there's no way that she could be pregnant with your twins.
No, but like the concern that I had, because people go, well, that doesn't make sense. And hold on now. And I'm like, okay, this is what I thought happened. I thought she trapped me. Trapping, I don't know if you know what the term is. It's basically like when a woman it gets pregnant from a man who did not mean to get a woman pregnant, but like she went out of her way to like inseminate herself.
Like turkey baster
Turkey
style.
based.
What?
Yes. And it happens. Or a girl, like more common, a girl will be like, yeah, I'm on the pill when they're not, or they skip a pill. Guy, then it's like, okay, she's on the pill. He comes inside of her. She gets pregnant. She's like, oh my gosh, I guess the pill didn't work. It happens with athletes. I
can imagine.
Saw with multiple athletes happen when I was an athlete. And then celebrities, it happens as well. Well, I thought that, the second time she gave me head, she got up quickly, went to the bathroom. And that when she said she was pregnant, I was like, she spit it in her hand and shoved it up her. I was like, that's the only way. I was like, that's the only way it could have happened. And I was like, she did it. I was like, she did run to the bathroom right afterwards. So.
But then she created a fake ultrasound picture.
Oh, she's done a lot.
So when she came to you and said, I'm pregnant, did you assumed that she did it herself, but did you believe her that she was actually pregnant?
No, well, I didn't want to believe her at first, but because I had seen trapping actually successfully happen in my past life, I was like, gosh damn it, she fucking did it. I was like, she got me, I got. And so I was like, but then things start not adding up. I was like, well, it's very low probability. But she's like, well, it happened. I don't know what to tell you. We were grinding on each other, and you pre-came, and I was like, no, I can feel that. She's like, you can't feel pre-came. I was like, look, I know I didn't because I wasn't that excited. I was like, you have to be a certain level excited to have that happen, and I wasn't there. Sorry, And she was like, well, it happened. So I was in denial. But then when I started saying like, hey, well, like let's do the ultrasound, let's do the paternity test, and then when she started to make excuses for those things, I was like, oh, you're making this shit up. I was like, you have to be. She's like, oh, we'll just wait till like till I give birth, which she chose. What the due date was? February 14th.
Oh my God, are you serious?
She filled out documents, and then I got it served by the officer. I was evading the documents because I was like, the second you get the documents, you have to respond to them.
Yeah.
So I was evading them, and then I get out the elevator one day at my apartment complex. 2 cops are standing right there, and I'm like, gosh damn it. I'm with my neighbors in the elevator with me. He stops to like watch like what's going on. Is he about to get arrested? And they're like, we have to serve you these papers. And I'm like, what the hell?
Who are the other men? Because I read that is there like 5 other Scottsdale men that have lawsuits against
5 other Scottsdale men. There's 1 Phoenix guy. And then there's 1 guy from San Francisco. Those 2 guys are now known publicly and have come out and spoken.
And are they also sort of public figures, or are they just?
No, the rest of these guys are all private.
So what are her intentions? Like, is she wanting money? Like, is she just crazy? Does she want the attention? Why does she do this?
She does it because it's also a family ordeal. Their whole family's involved in on it.
What?
And I believe that the reason she personally does it is it's something her and her mother share together. Like, it's a kind of twisted dynamic. Her mother's like the ringleader and is heavily involved. And they do it, my understanding is because they hate men and they want to basically get back at men that don't want to be with them. So I know that her mother felt slighted being in the shadows of her husband, who was a ABC radio host out of San Francisco for 30 years. And she was like a well-known publicist, but she wasn't as big time as he was. So I was told by people close to the family that like she always hated that she was known as Ron Owens' wife, not Jan.
Not known as herself.
Yeah, so that apparently started to spark her becoming angry at men and why are they, being placed above us? And then Laura, just when a man didn't want to date her, decided to try to destroy them and their lives to basically get them to feel as worthless as she does, because she doesn't have any self-love.
How did you meet her in the first place?
She reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Said she wanted to buy a house, and I just got my license, and so I was like, oh, this is incredible. People are reaching out to me. Like, this is what I was told would happen.
Let me guess, she didn't buy a house from you.
We did go see houses, but
did she at least have a prequel?
She had proof of funds that were fraudulent. Yeah,
Fraudulent?
Yeah,
oh my God.
That are now going to come bite her in the ass. She's facing 14 felony charges and 57 years in prison.
I saw that.
That's
like 57 is
crazy.
convicted. When is her trial? Do you
July.
know? July?
They just pushed it back because they added 7 more charges on. So now they had to push it back to give her lawyer more time.
God, that's more
to
time
prep.
than Diddy got.
Right.
Well, I think they're
Isn't
trying to
that
make
crazy?
Yeah, I think this. Rachel Mitchell, the county attorney out here, doesn't play around, and what I appreciate is that she's like, this does happen, and it needs to be held accountable. Like there needs to be. This should scare women that are going to try to defraud men from doing it.
Yeah.
Like if you know that you could get hit with 57 years, you might not do it now. And that's what we need. It's not, we should still believe, like we shouldn't believe all women the same way we shouldn't believe all men. Right. But like we should definitely try to deter people that are going to try to abuse the court system to destroy men and their reputations and men that do it to women. So if all of a sudden you slap somebody with 57 years for making something up, it's going to stop somebody in the future from making something up.
Sure.
Sure.
And people say, well, it'll deter actual victims. I don't believe that because it's like, if like this girl has blatantly flat out lied and abused the system. So like, that's why she's also getting hit with this. Like if somebody was like, telling the truth, they're not going to be facing 57 years. This woman has wasted police resources, city resources, like she was telling the police to fuck off that were raiding her house. She's called out the county attorney. It's like, so you're you're blatantly disrespecting the people in power. So
like the justice system.
So they're going to show you what happens when you blatantly disrespect the court system.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get to know you with Zoyo, sponsored by Zoyo, your neighborhood yogurt. Rapid fire questions, okay?
Okay.
Favorite body part on a girl?
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, just like the first thing, ass. Yeah.
Craziest thing you've done to impress a date?
Craziest thing I've
Besides
done.
take her on a helicopter.
Well, I was gonna say,
I know,
it
not
would've been
Bachelor,
all
not
of
on The
those
Bachelor.
things.
In real life.
In real life.
Actually, I got one. Wait, was it just the craziest thing I did for say it again?
To impress a date. Craziest thing you've done to impress a date?
Okay, what about impress like a relationship? I made a rap video after 3 years in a relationship, and I thought that was like I went above and beyond. I put together a whole video, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Do you still have it? We want to see it.
I know. Right?
I don't have it, but she probably doesn't either at this point.
Yeah?
No,
How funny.
She's married with a kid.
What should someone not do on a first date?
Not be themselves.
Where should someone not take a girl on a first date?
I mean, it always depends, but I suppose like I'll just some extreme. Don't take them to a strip club. And I don't know. That's a kind of a.
What's your go-to pickup line? Do you have a pickup line?
I don't know.
What is porn? Is watching porn considered cheating?
It depends on the person. I personally think no, but I don't watch porn either. So
before you're intimate, is it appropriate to ask your date how many people they've been with?
Is it appropriate? Sure. Yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah.
Would you do another reality show?
Yeah.
Is it acceptable to have sex on the first date?
Yes.
Should you disclose mental health issues early on in a relationship?
Yes.
Would you date internationally?
Yes.
What is the craziest first date you've ever been on? We didn't ask him this one, so I snuck it in.
Craziest first date, and we're gonna say not on the show.
Like craziest, like catfish or something bad that happened.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone that. There was one recently within the last 6 months where it wasn't even really crazy though. I haven't had any like major. Basically, all that happened was like we went on a sushi date. She like after an hour was like, "I'm cold. Can we go?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And we like get out, and she's like, "I want to go to Dave & Buster's," and I'm like, which actually is apparently a hot spot like for men out there, like at least out here, like. And it's fun, but I went out now like 3 girls that were like, let's go to Dave & Buster's. So it's like a hot spot for women. I don't know why or to go on a date, but it is a ton of fun because you're just playing games and like, and you get to compete with one another or like work together. So that's been like also just free game for whoever watched. Like take a girl to Dave & Buster's because it's like I had 3 women that are like, we should go to Dave & Buster's, and I'm like, what is up with Dave & Buster's? But then I went, and all 3 dates were great. I was like, this is like so easy too. I don't have to like sit and try to talk. We're distracted by games, you know. So, anyways, this date was like, yeah, let's go to Dave & Buster's. And then she's like, okay, I have to go back to my house and change, so follow me. So I get in the car, or I get into my car, she gets in her car. She proceeds to go 100 miles an hour on the highway and just zooms off. And I just was like, I'm not going 100 miles an hour. She was in her Tesla, ripping it. So I just pulled off the highway and just turned around and drove home. And she texted me like 20 minutes later. She's like, where'd you go? And I was like, hey, you know, you just zoomed off, and like, I don't think the date went that well. So like, we should just, you know, this should just be the end of it.
Fail.
That's funny.
That's funny. Okay, do you consider these red flags? She's best friends with her ex.
But I can't give an explanation. This is just rapid fire.
Just yes or no, rapid fire.
No.
She uses Snapchat.
No.
She posts gym mirror selfies. So wait, you don't think it's a red flag if she uses Snapchat?
I knew you were going to say.
You okay with it?
No, because I mean, look, I'm going to air myself out here. It's I still have Snapchat myself, but it's because me and my brothers have a group chat, and that's where we do all of our conversating. We send videos and photos, and we talk every day. We just don't do it on normal text because it's not the same.
My family chat is on Snapchat
Really?
too,
Yeah.
and it's the only reason why I still have a Snapchat because because my brother is the only one without an iPhone, and so we have to have our group chat on something that's not iMessaging.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I've had girls over the course when I was dating, or I was single, that were like, "Oh, do you have Snapchat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And so some girls were like, "Oh," and I'm like, again, you're thinking what, but really what's so wrong about it? It's apparently it's like an immaturity thing. It's just like you're 32. What are you doing on this?
Well, and I assume it's because you want to send nudes or inappropriate pictures because
People do that on the DMs. They got vanish mode on the DMs.
Yeah. Oh, do they? I didn't know that.
So I was like, the app itself. I was like, you got to look past that. Like if you think that the Snapchat was actually created for cheating. Like that's what I was told.
Was
Originally,
it?
the owner, the whole creator created it for cheating, and then it turned into like just people using it for a multitude of different things. But it's like the same thing where it's like people say, "Oh, Tinder's a hookup app," and I'm like, I've hooked up with more women off of Hinge than I ever have off Tinder. So
I met my husband on Tinder.
yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
So
true.
yeah.
What if she doesn't make her bed? Is that a red flag?
It's not a red flag. No.
She doesn't believe in foreplay.
I don't think I've ever met a woman that's not so I mean, I guess that would be a red flag because I've never met a woman that's.
She owns a sword and it's not for decoration.
Well, what would it be used for then? Like
Or don't they have some martial arts that use swords? I don't know.
I think that'd be. I would say actually a massive green flag because
Yeah.
if it's not for decoration, she's doing something fun and different with it. So
She brings her ex up on the first date.
that's not a red flag.
She follows her ex on social media and likes his posts.
Wait, are you not? This is just you're not dating.
Oh, you're dating, yeah.
You're dating.
And she's liking her ex's posts on
red
social
flag.
media. Red flag.
Only because she likes. The following's not a problem.
She wears flip-flops and pajamas on a plane.
That's not a red flag.
She uses LOL in texts.
Not a red flag.
And last but not least, what is your favorite sexual position and why?
I don't know why I'm hesitating on this. Like I've not said so many wild
He's
things.
getting giggly.
No, I mean this is the one where I was like, oh, this is intimate. I've shared a lot in my life.
Did we just make him blush?
No, this is actually getting me a little bit. I was like, man, I normally don't get like caught up on a question. I'm kind of like a teddy bear. I'm a lover. So I'm a face to face. So good old me on top, them on their back. What is that? Missionary?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Nice. Do you have any other questions?
No, but I will say flip-flops on an airplane is gross.
Yeah.
We've never included that one in the is it a red flag or not? I think wearing your bare feet.
But you're wearing flip-flops, so you're
You
not
got
bare
flip-flops
feet.
on,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think that's a red flag.
Still.
I think
Okay,
pajamas is more of a red
is it
flag.
more a red flag because there's no socks? Because I rock, so that's an athlete thing though. I
Yes.
rock socks with slides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay on a plane. I'm
Okay.
okay with socks and slides
You
on
just
a
think
plane.
open toes.
But open toes through an airport and on an airplane is
What if
kind
they're
of
going
gross
to Mexico and they're they got sandals on?
Put your sandals on when you get there.
I can kind of see it. You got open toes. I think it's more
Because
so just, I'm
who-
more so just because people are freaky with toes. That's more just I'm not letting you see my toes because I get people that DM me. They're like, I'll do a story and my toes will be in the story somehow, and they'll be like, ooh, I like your toes. I'm on Feet Finder. I'm like, what the hell, guys? You guys are freaks.
That is hilarious.
Good on y'all, but so that's more what it is. I'm like, I don't want to be walking to the airport and catch somebody just looking at me being like,
Look at their lips.
yeah,
Exactly. I want to suck on those.
yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think I ranted plenty.
Well,
and
thank
all
you so
that.
much for joining us this week at the Meat Market, and thank you so much, Clayton. And thank you to our sponsor, Tactical Tax Strategies. If you want to preserve your wealth and keep more of your own money in your wallet, you need to go to Tactical Tax Strategies. We'll see you next week at the Meat Market. Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.